At Borley Rectory, there's a sorrowful tale of a nun who is punished by being sealed inside a wall due to her forbidden love. Her sighs are said to echo alongside ghostly sounds that haunt the eerie grounds. What secrets lie hidden in this haunted building? Some say you can still hear her whispers as ghostly figures roam the property. The truths within these walls are waiting to be revealed. Are you brave enough to uncover them? Like, subscribe, and share this content with others for more authentic stories. The small village of Borley hosts a haunting tale of love and tragedy, forever entangled in the wailing tones of its church. A long time ago, there was once a nun whose beauty drew a secret love from a monk, sparking an affair that took them beyond their sacred vows. But once their secret love was out, its end was cruel. The monk paid the ultimate price, but the nun was sentenced to an even more terrible fate, walled alive inside her covenant and left to die alone in the dark. Whispers of her ghostly figure began sweeping through the years, purportedly roaming the place, her ghastly presence bearing witness to the tragedy and brazen betrayal. Thus unfolded the legend of the Nun of Borley, capturing the imagination and bantering of visitors and locals alike, henceforth dubbing Borley Rectory the most haunted house in England. To this day, her tale is a phantom of enduring love and endless dramatic possibilities. In the heart of Essex lies Borley, a village draped in mystery and lore, where the echoes of the past mingle with the present. Among its tales, none bears more poignant weight than that of a nun whose love defied the sacred vows she took. Long ago, she fell for a monk away from the public eye. Religious traditions in medieval England collided with love between a nun and a local monk who incited Borley church mythology. Both the monks received death by execution, while they sealed the nun alive within the monastery walls after sentencing her for unlawful romance. In the 14th century, when the church controlled personal lives, the punishment for breaking vows was death. The tale spread throughout the local community, yearly, strengthening Borley Rectory's reputation as the most haunted house in England. However, the spiritual phenomenon at the rectory demonstrate how personal yearning competes against social expectations. The ghostly appearance of the nun dangling from the premises demonstrates an enduring love grotesque enough to result from societal limitations. Visitors continue to explore Borley Rectory because the story of haunting throughout history remains its enduring appeal. Borley Rectory stands as England's most reputed haunted house, and it uses historical events to unite regional myths with the cultural background of that time. The rectory, built in 1862 on an ancient abbey site, became the focal point of ghost tales because people claimed to see a haunting nun wandering the grounds. According to local stories, a nun at the monastery fell in love with one of her religious brethren, and they broke their vows through a forbidden romantic relationship. The consequences of their love were dire. The monk was executed, and the nun bricked up alive in the convent's walls, its punishment fitting to the rigidity of the medieval ages, wherein the church held power over all aspects of living. They say the haunting went into high gear in the early 1900s, when all manner of other strange things and ghostly apparitions took place, mainly during the occasion of the Reverend Lionel Foyster and his family, with their intense, often repeated onslaught of paranormal activity. Harry Price, a noted paranormal investigator, spent years at Borley Rectory monitoring many supernatural happenings. His scholarly results added prestige to the rectory, giving it a constant place in occult lore. Now famous Borley Nun stands in all charms and sadness, a testament to one's undying love versus the decay caused by the strict codes of society, a lore of what haunted history brings to visitors exercising their minds. Additionally, paranormal activities in Borley Rectory, often called the most haunted house in England, have been adequately documented since 1863. In 1863, local school children were the first to begin recording sightings of the spirit of a nun near the rectory. The first case sparked interest and curiosity among the local populace, leading to further accounts of strange happenings. The Foyster family, who lived there in early 20th century, vividly described several paranormal happenings in the rectory. The residents reported hearing unexplained knocking sounds, often attributed to spirits believed to inhabit the house. Sightings of the nun, among others, became quite common. Many said they saw her walking around the grounds or peering through the windows. No fewer than several other visitors and locals shared the same sort of experience, thus spinning up the legend that Borley Rectory had become. Different types of paranormal incidents reported at Borley Rectory. Phantom footsteps, strange lights, and ghostly whispers emerged as standard paranormal reports. The house's witnesses reported watching doors move independently, while hearing unexplained bell chimes. People who experienced the place felt invisible hands touching or pushing their bodies. The rectory's eerie ambience became even more substantial due to witness statements about encounters with a missing headman and a dog spirit. Harry Price, a prominent paranormal investigator in the 1920s, researched Borley's haunted places significantly, Price created a comprehensive record of all the mysterious events at Borley Rectory through his research. He examined the location using both photographic and recording tools while maintaining a structured method during his study. Through systematic record-keeping and witness interviews, the rectory earned a reputation as one of the premier haunted sites. After Price published articles and books summarizing the events at Borley Rectory, his work triggered international interest among ghost hunters and enthusiasts who wanted to investigate those accounts. Countless witnesses through time have narrated that the headless man, being a spectral being without a head, appeared in front of them. The link with the lamentable historical past of the rectory and its surroundings stands with that of the old abbey that used to exist in that location. It was often said the headless man was most frequently seen roaming about near the ruins of the rectory, and that he was terrified as usual as he fascinated the people who caught sight of him. Their theories suggested he may have been the spirit of a very ancient resident or a victim of historical wrongdoing, and added flavorful elements. Moreover, the apparition of the phantom dog has brought excitement into the hearts and minds of visitors and investigators alike. Described as a large headless hound that haunts Borley Rectory's grounds, the phantom dog is said to appear without warning and vanish moments later. According to local legends, the phantom dog is sometimes identified as a spirit guardian, or its appearance may represent something evil about the area. Those who have described their encounter with the ghost dog have said it was present when they experienced unease or a sense of foreboding, which has helped envelop the rectory in a mystery. If you are enjoying this video, then please like it and subscribe to our channel. The discovery of a skull at Borley Rectory ranks as the most famous paranormal incident connected to this English building. Borley Rectory in Essex became famous during the early 20th century after reports of multiple paranormal events, including ghost hunting legend Harry Price, brought in many investigators. When the skull was discovered, the Smith family resided at Borley Rectory in 1929. Mrs. Smith found a human skull wrapped in a newspaper while she cleaned out a cupboard. According to reports, this horrifying discovery activated numerous ghostly occurrences inside the house. Scientists determined the skull came from a young female, but they never discovered who the individual was or how the skull ended up in the rectory building. The find of the skull made Borley Rectory's existing supernatural atmosphere even more intense. After the skull's discovery, Harry Price became the leading paranormal investigator at Borley Rectory. He recorded multiple instances through extensive research, including the skull's discovery. Through his research, Price made Borley Rectory legend more well-known and published numerous books, including The End of Borley Rectory. Price wrote about the skull while documenting the rectory's ghostly experiences and supernatural occurrences. The skull evolved into a paranormal symbol that embodied Borley Rectory's dire past and secret secrets. Different explanations of origins have been developed about the skull throughout time. Some theorize that the skull came from a nun who received burial in the area. Yet, others connected it to the rectory's tragic history, during which multiple people experienced ghostly experiences. The complete truth about the skull and its relationship to Borley Rectory has escaped through investigation. The history of Borley Rectory includes its destruction by fire in 1939. Even though the traditional legend about the skull remains to fascinate those fascinated by paranormal phenomenon, the skull discovery at Borley Rectory remains key to its haunted history, which today serves as one of many case studies for ghost hunting research and discussions about the paranormal. The finding of a skull at Borley Rectory transformed the site into a more powerful haunted hotspot, simultaneously causing widespread fascination for ghost investigation and supernatural exploration. The discovery events at Borley Rectory created permanent historical significance, attracting researchers who investigate the supernatural. The recovery of a skull at Borley Rectory established the site as the most haunted house in England through its position in paranormal history. In 1929, the Smith family relocated to the rectory building after numerous reports of eerie events had already made it famous. On February 27, 1939, Captain W.H. Gregson set fire to Borley Rectory through a book unpacking accident that involved knocking over an oil lamp. The flames from the accidental oil lamp destroyed the building, thus ending its status as the most haunted house in England. On February 27, 1939, Borley Rectory burned to the ground, in a significant event that shaped the history of paranormal occurrences. The fire at Borley Rectory destroyed the physical structure and amplified existing legends, making it a central point for ghost stories and paranormal research. Captain W.H. Gregson had his first day unpacking books in the library of the Borley Rectory on February 27, 1939, when he discovered he had knocked an oil lamp from his table while standing up. This was what seemed like a simple incident, but it turned out to be a significant fire that spread rapidly through the old and deteriorated structure. The witnesses reported the burning of the building as thick smoke was screeching high above. Among some things, one would hear strange noises, supposedly a racket made by spirits haunting this rectory. All of this made for rich matters concerning ghost stories in that area. After the fire, Harry Price returned to the site to investigate as a paranormal investigator. His excavation work at the ruins revealed bones that possibly belonged to a young woman, together with a St. Ignatius medal. The discovered bones during Price's investigation served as proof to substantiate the murdered nun legend and intensified public fascination about the rectory's ghostly past. A Christian burial service took place in Liston Village to offer peace to end the dead nun's spirit after the discovery of her bones. The community believed this burial action would finally end the ghostly disturbances that had troubled the rectory since the 1930s. The demolition of Borley Rectory remains in 1944 finalized the end of a ghostly site that had previously become a legendary symbol. Photographs from the demolition period, including one image showing a floating brick, continued to fascinate people and kept the site in public discussion. The fire at Borley Rectory and the subsequent events have made it a significant part of supernatural history. Over the years, it has been the focus of many books, documentaries, and investigations. Ghost hunters and enthusiasts from all over the world have been drawn to it. The tales of hauntings and the tragic fire have been woven into local folklore. Over the years, numerous claims of paranormal activities at Borley Rectory have been challenged. Some individuals have confessed to staging ghostly occurrences, sparking debates about the authenticity of these hauntings. Despite skepticism and potential hoaxes, the legend of Borley Rectory continues to intrigue those fascinated by ghosts and the supernatural. The mystery surrounding Borley Rectory's nun is overwhelmingly burdened with some aspect of legend and tragedy, where boasted stories reflect on the nun who fell in love with a monk and was duly inflicted a gory punishment. This legend contributed a great conjecture to Borley Rectory as being labeled most haunted in England. For many years, numerous separate reports of sightings have been made, alongside other scrappy experiences, such as strange noises and objects moving. The rectory became significant among ghost hunters and researchers, especially Harry Price in the 1920s and 30s, who documented many of the hauntings from the 1920s through the 1930s. For years, however, no one could establish the source of the story about the nun. There were many theories on what happened to her or who she was, all circulating among enthusiasts. The rectory went up in flames in 1939. Yet another story of the nun continues and entices imaginations with a haunting interest. As of January 2025, the story of Borley Rectory continues to attract much interest among paranormal investigators. It has become a cultural touchstone into the soul of ghost hunting, inspiring an avalanche of books, documentaries, and films. While the building is no longer there, the tale of the nun and the hauntings continues through ongoing dialogue about the nature of the haunting and the mysteries of the past. The Borley Rectory nun story attests to ghost stories continue to draw upon us, questioning our need to understand the unknown. The Borley Rectory and its infamous nun continues to unfold as a fascinating chapter in the annals of paranormal history. The myth of the nun, who while in love with a monk was made to suffer a ghastly fate, sealed in a wall alive, has given birth to untold generations of ghost stories and investigations. The legend of the nun survives today even though the rectory burned down in 1939. Harry Price's investigative work during the 1920s and 30s generated substantial public interest at the site by recording numerous supernatural events, which now form the rectory's legendary stories. Ghostly apparitions and strange noises and moving objects have maintained Borley's spirit throughout public awareness. The fascination with Borley Rectory remains strong in January 2025 because the tale of the ghostly nun has generated numerous books, films, and documentaries. Ghost hunting enthusiasts use Borley Rectory as their cultural benchmark to examine the supernatural while using it as an example in exploring paranormal phenomenon. The ongoing discussions about hauntings that focus on their origins and psychological explanations and historical events surrounding paranormal beliefs attract scholars and hobbyists. As we wrap up the story of the nun's tragic love at Borley Rectory, remember that her tale remains with us. The mysteries and legends of this well-known place continue to captivate and chill us. We hope you have also enjoyed learning about all the paranormal activities. Which one scared you the most? Let us know in the comment section. If you like this real story of a nun, then please like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. See you soon.